I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? Okay, so look, all I got to say is yes, yes, and yes, we'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. I am seriously saying yes, and you'll know in a minute. Okay, so you can get us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Deezer, Vimeo, Roku, Amazon Fire, Yaya Diamond TV, and DreamChasersRadio.com. California and Louisiana, Arkansas, Georgia, Hawaii, different Comcast stations. Just look us up, DreamChasersRadio.com, and you can find out more about where you can see us either on TV, radio, podcasting, all of that. So I'm just excited, though. I'm excited because I got a girl on my show. My girl's on my show. Like, I've been watching her on TV, and she on my show. I want to welcome Redd Roxx to the show, girl. ReddRoxx, what's up?
Hello.
Hey. So, oh man, girlfriend. Oh man. This okay. I have to assume that some people don't know who you are.
Of course.
Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself. I don't know why they don't know who you are, but they don't. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people all about who Redd Roxx is.
Yes, my name is Radio ReddRoxx or ReddRoxx. Radio ReddRoxx kind of was my name, just specific for radio. I've been in radio for 10 years. So just going by ReddRoxx these days, but I am a writer for Hip Hop Weekly magazine. I'm also brand manager for Hip Hop Weekly Radio, and I recently wrote my own book called The 10 Bad Beat Commandments. I'm not sure if I can curse or not.
we try not to here, not unless you just get really heated, and then okay, it's on. Man, so congratulations on all the success. Let me ask you a question, and I always ask this question to everybody because everybody has a different journey that they go on. I want to find out, what was your journey like, and did you ever expect your journey to end up where you are today?
My journey was, a difficult one. I didn't have really a great, I would say like late teens to early 20s. Childhood was typical though. My journey, throughout my late teens and early 20s was like more so focused on, relationships, unhealthy relationships. And, I was, having my children, so it was a lot going on. It was very tough at times. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I also, had, bouts where I didn't know where we were going to stay and different things like that. So my journey here actually started in school. I started in the nursing program. I thought I wanted to pursue nursing. And honestly, big ups to all the nurses out there and the RNs and the doctors and everybody that's in the medical field, because it takes a strong person to like really pursue that career and have a strong stomach. And I realized I didn't have such a strong stomach, and I didn't have the heart and passion for it. So I not quickly, but I took some time to decide what path was the right path for me. And I've always loved to write. I've always loved music. And so I discovered the communications and media arts program that I ended up going to school for. And that, changed the trajectory, if I could talk, of my life from there. I was able to kind of catapult into the whole broadcasting field and landed an internship at the radio station in Buffalo, where I'm from. And I've been ever since. And that kind of just snowballed into everything else.
That's amazing. Being that you came from where you came from, the survivor part of it, the domestic violence. I mean, I have to say that I knew plenty of my friends that went through that as in high school and everything. And big ups to you that you got out. Some people just don't get out alive. And big ups to you that you did. I know that your journey is amazing. But let's go back to, you said you were raising your children, and what was it like for you to tell your children that, hey, this is my life now. This is where mommy is?
Yeah, honestly speaking, I kind of regret not being as open and, communicating with them as much in hindsight. I was in survival mode. a lot
Mm.
of the times that when they were younger. And it was kind of like, I'm the parent, I'm doing what I have to do. You're the kid, you don't have a say in, what's happening. I kind of regret that. I wish I was a little bit more honest and open with them. And I think that they would have been able to accept or at least understand things a little bit better. Um, but not to the extent to where I'm telling them like real true grown folk business, you know what I mean, but just like explaining things to them more about what's going on as far as like our living situation and all that type of stuff.
Hmm.
um as far as like the depths of what was actually happening, as far as like the domestic violence and stuff like that, you really can't explain that to a kid, you know what I mean? So
No, no.
um but yeah, I mean, it was hard. There were times where I didn't know how I was going to be able to provide for them. I mean, I look back and I'm like, whoa, like you did that. Like, you did that. Like, I don't even know how. Like, looking back, I don't even know how I managed and how I was able to get through. I mean, of course, with the support of my tribe, like it takes a village,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh
it
yeah.
definitely took a village. Like my mom, my sister-in-law at the time. There was a few cute key people who really played a hand and played a role in me helping to raise my kids. And eventually, their father and I, we got on the same page as co-parents, and it wasn't as tumultuous, over time and things like that. But there was a period of time, like it was. I didn't know how I was gonna do
Yeah.
it, but I did it.
I hear you. I hear you. And like I said, you were a survivor. Big ups to you that you got through this, and now you're on the other side. What is the inspiration behind your name?
My name. So Red is my name, and it's also my nickname. So, and then Rocks just was kind of like a play on the word rock. So
Mhm.
Red Rocks.
Now, girlfriend, I hear there's a buzz going on about you right now. What? I was talking before, like at around what? It's past a little bit past 3 right now, and so at around 2 o'clock, I was talking to somebody, and I'm gonna say who, but I was talking to somebody. I was like, "What? She got the buzz? Tell me what's going on with you."
So, I with Hip Hop Weekly magazine, I'm fortunate enough to cover some really great events. And I also interview people as well. I have my own show on the Rocks, and I do that in conjunction with Hip Hop Weekly as well. But I've been able to hit some really cool red carpet events recently, earlier this year, and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was one of them. And I was surprised. I woke up to tons of inboxes and emails and text messages of people seeing me on the show. I didn't get to catch the show. I missed it because I was just, kind of like doing too much. But I did plan on watching that, going back and watching the episode. But I didn't even get a chance to before I had all these people hit me up like, "Oh, I seen you on Love and Hip Hop." So I covered Spice's single release for Go Down Day, and I
Mhm.
was on the red carpet. I got to talk to everybody. So what you guys seen was only like a small snippet of the people that I actually got to speak with, but they used my clip, and I was on there doing my thing, and it felt really good because I've worked really hard towards these types of moments.
Yeah, it does take a lot, and I congratulate you because I personally know what it takes. To, just like you wake up and you don't really go to sleep. It's like, okay, guys, bye. I gotta go. So congratulations on that. And then now your book. Are you planning on doing a book tour anytime soon?
I do. I'm actually planning to do a book tour. Hopefully, this fall. I want it to be something that is beneficial to people. So I don't want to just do a tour just to, sell books or sign books. I want
Mm-hmm.
it to actually have a component to it that people can benefit from. So whether it's a panel about domestic violence, or a panel about mental health, or something, of that nature pertaining to the chapters in the book. That's what I really want to do. So it might take a little bit more planning to do it, but I'm all with it. I don't want it to just be. I want it to be beneficial.
Right, right. I understand that. And you are a woman's empowerment person. You know, you're an advocate for that. What? Tell me more about that. And how do you use your social media to help other women? Because I mean, that is a big thing, especially since from where you came until
Yeah,
now. I mean, most women don't even believe they could make it where you are, but can they?
absolutely, absolutely. If I can make it, anybody can. Um, you know, I hate some. I hated the fact that sometimes it looked easy,
Mm,
or it looked like I didn't have as much of a struggle as I did to get where I'm at, because I don't want that to discourage anyone that's going through and make them feel like they can't get, and achieve the things that I have.
mm-hmm.
So that's why I wanted to be more vocal about my story and more of an open book, because man, I can't think of the amount of times that I wanted to give up because I thought that I just couldn't, because I didn't really have anybody to show me a blueprint and say,
Mm,
okay, I went through this, and this. Now look at me. Everybody
right.
wants to talk about the end result. Everybody wants to talk about, celebrate, the accomplishment, but nobody really wants to talk about the struggle, the nights that they've cried, the failures that they've had, the no's, the times that they've struggled with mental health and were depressed and didn't want to even live at times, like nobody really talks about that, not in our community.
Right.
So I wanted to be that open book and say, I went through all of this. I was labeled as crazy because I had major depressive disorder, because I was so depressed from the things I was going through in life. I thought at one point I didn't want to live, and spent time in an institution because they didn't want me to hurt myself. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that happened to me. And yeah, everything on the outside looks great, but it took a lot of work to
Mm,
get here. And it's possible though. It's
right.
possible. It's possible. So
Mm,
that's really my main message, is that it's possible. Yes.
yeah. You know what I'm happy for?
Yes.
I'm happy you're here.
Thank you.
I'm happy you're still here and that you have a testimony and that people that see you today can be inspired and understand that there is a beyond the moment. There is a
Yes.
future. There is a past, present, and future that they
Yes.
can look forward to. And you're the living testimony of that. And I'm so happy for you. And I'm so thankful, uh, if I must say, to the Most High that you are here with us today talking about this. This is a big deal. And thank you so much for being on my show and talking about it, because I'm sure that there are women that listen to my show right now that might feel that way, because I once felt depressed and lonely, and I know where you're coming from in more than one way, in
Yeah.
more than one way. Definitely. So you are you big on affirmations?
Absolutely.
So what kind of affirmations do you use to help you through?
So the affirmations that I use is just that, for one, change will always happen. So,
Hmm.
and positive changes are positive things are in everything, even the negative. And that, when I go through tough, tough things and tough times, I just affirm to myself that I can't see it now, but one day I am going to see the positive in the situation. I am going to reap a benefit out of the situation, no matter what it is, no matter how hard it may seem, no matter how difficult it is to get through, that I will one day see that benefit. And
Hmm.
um, that I think is probably one of the most strongest affirmations that help get me through.
Mm.
Just knowing that, you know what, you can't see it now, but there is going to be a benefit. There is going to
Wow.
be a greater outcome to this than what you can see.
Wow. And you're right. You're so right. I'm typing something out because I want people to see that this is possible. Look at this. Redd Roxx has been seen in Sheen Magazine, Fox 5 Vegas, and VH1 Love and Hip Hop, and more. Red Carpets, Atlanta. Girlfriend, I just want to make sure that people know that it's not the end. It's not the end. This is just the beginning. And like you say, you have to pick yourself up. You have to go. And you had kids. Whew,
Yeah.
it's
And
yeah. Whew.
and for your kids to see you in those states, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. Um, and you just gotta don't be tough on yourself. You're only human. We kind of feel like we want to be perfect, and and if we're not perfect, then or things aren't perfect, we're just so hard on ourselves, and you have to allow yourself to just be human. And there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things I wish my kids didn't, see or witness, especially, like my mental state, being depressed, and my anxiety, and some days not even being able to get out of bed,
Mm-hmm.
um, or even experiencing the backlash from the relationships that I cultivated, out of lack of self-love. Um, I wish they didn't, but they did, and even in that same affirmation,
Yeah.
it's gonna be positive for them one day.
Mm-hmm.
They had to see that for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe to help them through, or maybe to help them avoid certain types of relationships or situations, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe to say, well, I see my mom deal with this, and I'm going to spearhead this and take care of myself
That's right.
now, or she got through it, so I'm going to get through it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there still is a positive that's going to come out of that, one way or
Yeah.
another.
Red Rocks. Wow. Girlfriend, you deserve it.
Thank you.
You deserve it. You've worked hard. I see it. You've worked hard. You love your kids. You worked hard. You deserve it. What's next for you? What do you see in your future?
I definitely want to do more television work. I love being in front of the camera. I love doing it as an interviewer. But I love everything broadcast. I love everything media. When I was younger, I used to want to be a meteorologist. Um, then I wanted to be a newscaster. And then I'm like, well, by the time I was like 19, I'm like, well, I think I have too many tattoos. And but I
Back
mean,
then they didn't have the cover up. I don't think they didn't
uh,
have as good of a cover up as they
yeah,
have now.
I'm like,
Yeah.
nowadays, no. But I always enjoy entertaining. I always enjoy being in front of the camera. So I definitely want to get into doing more of that.
Mhm.
I want to be able to continue to write for Hip Hop Weekly and other publications. I definitely want to expand that, because I love writing. I've always been a writer. And I also want to, dabble more on the music side. I love radio. I'll always be in radio to some extent.
Mhm.
Radio honestly has opened more doors for me than anything. Now, Hip Hop Weekly is a tough runner up because, I do so much with them now as well. But if it wasn't for the radio, I wouldn't even have the opportunity at Hip Hop Weekly. So it's so I'm always going to be in radio to some extent. However, I love music. I'm a hip hop head to the core of me, and I have a great ear for music. I've written music before. I've made beats. I've done, ironically, my kid's father. We actually used to run a record label, an independent record label, a long time ago.
Mm.
For my oldest, who is now 18, he was just a baby. So it's something that I loved doing then, and I would probably want to, try to get back into at some point.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, we all have our dreams, and they can change and grow,
Mhm.
and you make it in one thing doesn't mean life is over. I did it. Yay. And it's
Right.
like, well, now what next,
And you can
Okay,
do
let's do something different.
you can do everything, everything. Don't let
Yep.
anyone tell you that, oh, you have to focus on one thing, or oh, you need to no. If you have the capacity, if you have the time, if you have the resources, then you can do it. Do everything. You
That's
live
right.
one life. One day, none of this will matter.
That's
One
right.
thing, and you won't have the ability to pursue things.
Mm-hmm.
So pursue it, do it. If it works,
That's
it
right.
works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If you fell at it, you can always revisit it later. Just because you fell at something now doesn't mean you have to never, try it again. I launched a lipstick line or makeup line like maybe 7 years ago, and I'm revamping it, and hopefully I'll be launching a new lip collection soon. So it's like, even though you fell at something at one point, doesn't mean you can't revisit it with new information, new knowledge, new
Mm-hmm.
resources, and then you can't, then you could be successful potentially with it. So you
Definitely. Oh, I'm looking forward to Redd Roxx line now. Shoot, I was in the store looking for lipstick and eyeshadow and everything. I could have been picking me up some Redd Roxx. What?
but I also have to do a second edition to my book. So this edition of my book was more so focused on the inner person.
Mm-hmm.
So your mental health, your physical health, your self-love, that's one of the biggest things. Your interpersonal relationships and how they affect you mentally, how they affect your self-love and everything else, and how your self-love affects them. Like everything is kind of interchangeable as to how one affects the other.
Right.
And also, your financial health, your potentially pursuing entrepreneurship, or even pursuing that degree, your education,
Mm-hmm.
spirituality as well. So these are all in this book. These are the core things that I feel like, if you're going to be a bad bee,
That's right.
it's not all about looks. You know what I mean? It's not
Nope.
all about looks. We can all slap a wig on. We can put the makeup on. We could do whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not really about looks. It's like, once you take all of that off, who are you as a person?
Right.
Are you able to go and get a loan if you need one? Are you
Mm-hmm.
able to, cook a hamburger if you have to? You know what I mean? Are you able to, do you love yourself? Just because, and I want to say that someone who wears makeup and all that stuff doesn't mean that they don't love themselves. I love to enhance what I have. But no, like on the core, when you take all of everything off, do you like who you're looking at in the mirror? And I'm not talking physically. I'm talking, how are you talking to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How are you speaking to yourself? When you look at yourself in the mirror, you saying, "Oh, I love her. Like, she's beautiful with
That's
nothing
right.
on." Um, you the bomb. You know what I mean? Like, you have to
Mm-hmm.
really talk to yourself like you talk to your girlfriends, and big up yourself, and really show yourself that same love that you try to give everybody else. And that was pretty much the premise of 10 Bad Bee Commandments. And those are all things that I work on. I'm not saying like I'm an expert and I've mastered these things, and this is Bible, this is law. This is saying these are things that I personally continuously work on day to day, that has helped me out of those dark places, that has helped to keep me from those dark places, that has helped to keep me out of those unhealthy relationships, and keep me centered.
Mm-hmm.
And I practice what I preach every single day. So it's saying, these are some of the things I've been through. These are some of the things that I've done personally to help me figure out life. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not like a one end all be all. So when you're done with it, it's not like, okay, I'm done. I'm a bad bee now. No, it's like, that's why I call it a read, write, reflect, repeat. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to read it through. You're going to read my story. You're going to write, with the activities, your own, your things from your own life, and analyze things from your own life. You're going to reflect on it, because once you're done with all the activities, you're going to read back through it and see what you put, and just constantly revisit it. And then there's a custom pencil that comes with it. So you could just erase it, and then you can repeat it,
Right.
because
Definitely.
you're not going to go through the same things. You're not going to go through some things. You're not going to go through one time.
Mm-hmm.
Different points and different levels of your life, you're going to have to reanalyze those relationships again. You're going to have to do some of the work again. So that's why I
Yeah.
repeat.
I love it. I love the fact that you've taken everything that you've gone through and you've made it into this one bad 10 bad commandments. I love it. I love it. I don't want to say it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Female dog, right? Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. But it's like, you've taken all of your love, your experience, and you've passed on those positive moments that people can actually write down in this workbook for themselves, and then erase it and go right now, because what happened in the past doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen in the future. There's going to be better and bigger things coming up. And girlfriend, thank you.
No problem. You're welcome.
Thank you. So, I mean, I'm loving it. And like you, I love interviewing people, and I loved having you on the show today. You guys, ladies and gentlemen, Redd Roxx on the show today. Thank you so much. But most importantly, go to her social media. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Radio ReddRoxx on pretty much everything. I'm only really on Instagram right now. I am on Facebook somewhat, but Facebook is kind of like, I do have a Facebook fan page, but that I update here and again. So you can definitely like it on there. But Instagram, I'm mainly on Instagram at Radio ReddRoxx, Radio ReddRoxx. All my information is also on my website at ReddRoxx, and you can, ReddRoxx.com, and you can purchase my book, ReddRoxx.com/book.
Yep. And all of that is on the screen and will be in the description box as well. And that way you guys can actually get that and go straight there. Man, Redd Roxx girl, thank you so much for being on my show. Girl, keep going. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Definitely. You deserve it. You've worked hard for it. You've gone through so much. But most importantly, you're giving back to women, and you're pulling people out of the state that they're in and bringing them up. And that's the biggest thing there. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. You can come back anytime.
Okay, thank you.
Oh man, thank you. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. And our guest today was Redd Roxx. You can get all of her information in the description box below. Don't forget to copy, paste, put that in your browser, click enter. You are not going anywhere anyway. So click enter, okay? And it'll take you straight there. If it's highlighted, all you do is click on it. It'll take you straight there. You can also right click and just go there. So there's just so many different things. And if you need tutorials about that, I'm sure you can go to YouTube, which we are there, Dream Chasers Radio. Thank you again so much, and have a wonderful day, guys. And until next time, don't forget to dare to be different.
I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare to be different. I dare.